Hey guys, Chad here from CNR Reviews. It's time to do the final review on the Bersa BP9CC. This is a subcompact 9mm that we've been kind of focusing on throughout the end of October, kind of beginning of November. And unfortunately, I actually planned for this review to be posted in the middle of November. I was sidelined with some emergency surgery, so this is the first time I'm actually getting out and getting a chance to do this review. Let's start off with talking about comments and what viewers have said about the Bersa BP9CC. We've had very interesting response to it. This is actually the first gun I've actually had people go, we're not interested in it at all, please move on to something else. They actually created multiple accounts. We had some of our people create multiple accounts and dislike the videos. Time and time again, Ryan and I ended up blocking, I don't know how many of the same guy. He just kept doing it and doing it and doing it just to be an asshole. Guys, we do these videos to help you. I bought this gun to test, and that is what we're going to do. Just because it doesn't say Glock on it, or just because it doesn't say Ruger or Smith & Wesson, doesn't mean I'm going to treat it like shit. So Ryan and I definitely want to give you guys our honest opinion on it. And I think if you just look past this gun, you're doing yourself an injustice. Now, the Bersa came out around the same time as the M&P Shield, Springfield XDS, 938, and Nano. So it came out toward the beginning of this year. I haven't seen any of these guys but this one. They're really hard to come by for some reason. Either they're not importing many, or they're just not selling enough of them to justify the import of them. So, and that's kind of a travesty, to be honest with you, because it's been a perfect gun for us. It's fired every round. It's ejected every round. We've had no issues, and it is a comfortable gun to shoot. It's not a perfect gun by far. Let's talk about some of the features it has. It comes with two 8-round magazines. That's a little bit different in the category because that's actually a higher capacity than the majority of the compact guns. It's got 3-dot combat sights. Is that unique? No, it's not. But what makes it unique, Bersa has it so where you can replace the rear sight with a Glock rear sight and the front sight with a SIG front sight. So that makes it unique. It does have some interesting safety features. It does have a magazine disconnect, which if you follow our videos, you know I'm not a huge fan of. But it also has a safety here where it'll actually lock up the trigger for you. They give you a little hex key. You can turn it to fire or safe. It's a quick way to go ahead and lock up your gun, especially if you have little kids around or something like that and you don't like fiddling with a trigger lock. So that does make it kind of nice. Other than that, it's very simplistic design. There's no external safeties on the gun. The gun just relies on the safety between your ears. The trigger is very unique. We'll talk about the trigger. This trigger pull, the trigger kind of just pivots. There's really nothing to it. And then it's immediate firing. It's also got a very short reset. I'll show you the reset on it. It's ready to go. So the trigger has got to be about 4.5 to 5 pounds. It is almost too light for a carry gun, to be honest with you. And with it not having any type of safety feature, even on the trigger, it makes it kind of dangerous to carry with a round chambered, especially pocket carrying. I recommend if you're going to carry a round chambered in the gun, you holster carry it. Now, even Bersa says in their manual, they do not recommend carrying with a round chambered. So that's very interesting. That's the first company I've heard say that. Other than that, guys, the gun has been awesome. Ryan and I want to bring you different types of guns, and I'm honestly saying this one, check it out. It's worth your while to actually see. Let's talk about the problems that I have with this gun. First of all, the takedown sucks. You have to push the slide lock is also the takedown pin, and you go ahead and push out from the side once you meet up these two little lines, one on the frame, one on the slide. When you take it apart, though, the encapsulated guide rod spring system it has, the spring is oversized, and so you get a lot of like bubbles and stuff in the spring, and it causes the gun to not go back every time. It is sometimes the spring gets caught on the frame some places, and it sucks. I've actually had issues where I've sat there for an hour messing with the gun, looking inside, trying to figure out what the hell is going on and what's it hanging up on, seeing if I could fix it, seeing if I could do different things, and just be patient. That's all I'm going to tell you. The second thing I do not like about this gun, and I've heard other people complain about this gun, is the pinch that you get from the trigger. Because the trigger pivots downwards, you may pinch your finger. I don't pinch it every time, but I've heard that the way to solve that issue is to actually Dremel down the trigger guard. And that's actually going to be what I do. I'm going to do it on video to show you guys how I do it and what I'm using and how it turns out and if it solves that pinch. So, Ryan, do you have anything to add to this video as far as your thoughts on the Bersa BP9? And we've both owned Bersas, and so that's why we were really attracted to this firearm.
Yeah, guys, I actually owned a Thunder 380. It's kind of a PPK clone that Bersa makes, and it was flawless. I never had one issue with that gun. So that was one of the reasons why we decided to give this gun a try. Also, its size and the time, its actual just basic features that compare really nicely with other guns in the category. I enjoyed shooting it. I thought it was a really accurate gun. When we shot it at the range, it was one big ragged hole about this big at 7 yards, and that's perfect.
It definitely compared well with the others in the category.
Oh yeah. So in my opinion, if I carried a 9mm, this would definitely be an option for me. So I really liked the gun.
So guys, before I finish the video, I do have one last complaint, and it's actually something that I've recently noticed on the Bersa. It is a blued finish, I mean, I don't think it's blackened. It looks like it's blued, and I don't know if you can see on the camera, but on the rear serrations, I'm actually getting a little bit of rusting on that. Now, that can be easily solved just by checking the gun at least once a month, adding some oil to the weapon, and if it continues to be an issue in that area, Ryan and I have actually used Tetra Gun before. It's a lube instead of the oil, and actually adding that to the area and will actually help prevent that in the future. Other than that, guys, this is a great gun. Check out the Bersa whole lineup, actually. But the BP9CC compares well with everything in this category. As far as price goes, this gun is competing with the Car CM9, the CW9, the LC9, the Beretta Nano, the M&P Shield. It's all in that price, that whole price range of about $360 to $400. So if you can't find one of those other ones, I suggest checking out this guy. So thanks a lot for watching. This is Chad and Ryan from CNR Reviews. Awesome gun, guys. Have a good day.